Have you ever thought of pulling that particular sentence part into individual and secluded pieces? The very idea of that just makes me quake with impatience. But some things are necessary, like breaking things down. Breaking things down makes everything so much easier to understand. It takes more time to pull it apart and explain it. We'll go with this particular approach, shall we? Here. Here gives you a sense of place, and on occasion, time. When you say here, you think of being pinpointed to your exact location. You are aiming to be used as soon as possible. I. I is you, or in a lot of cases, me. Really confusing, isn't it? I gives you a feeling of yourself. It can sometimes make you think about yourself. Am. Am, like here, gives you a sense of place. But what makes this word different from here is that am makes you think of your surroundings. Am is also specific, such as here. But am leans towards I more than here. The phrase I am is a state of being. I am here is a state of being in a place. Lord. Lord is a very lofty term, and is in this case used for the Almighty. To be over someone is to be the big boss. When you think of the Lord, you start to feel very small. That is only natural because the Lord is very big. It even says in Isaiah 66 verse 1 that he uses the earth as his footstool. The word Lord in this sentence is here to make you feel humble, to give you the proper sense of yourself in the relationship. Send. To send is for someone to allow you to go forward. In this context, send is to make you be a tool, or something useful. In many cases, to be the tool willingly is great honor. In biblical terms, a person who sends someone is usually that someone's master. God sends us to do his will, because he is our master. Me. Me is also like I, in that you're talking about yourself, or me talking about myself, however you want to look at it. One wants God to send me, or in some cases, you. Exclamation mark. The exclamation mark shows eagerness or excitement. If you want to be used as God's tool, you need to be eager and willing. It is far better to be God's willing tool than to be an unknown blunderer, doing God's will without realizing it. If you put the sentence together, you get this. It is me, my Lord Almighty, right here, in this very spot. Make me your servant, make me your servant, your truth. We should all want to be his tool. Nothing is impossible for the Lord. You, or me, should want to be as useful to the Lord as he makes possible, so no one takes our position as that tool. You know what happens when someone takes our spot as that specific tool? You are no longer as useful to God at that specific time, in that specific area. That doesn't mean he won't open another door for you. It just means you missed your shot at that time. If you, or I, wants to be God's tool, we should get ourselves ready now. Also, on the subject of being sent, let's look at Luke chapter 17, verses 11 through 19. 10 healed of leprosy. Now on his way to Jerusalem, Jesus traveled along the border between Samaria and Galilee. As he was going into a village, 10 men who had leprosy met him. They stood at a distance and called out in a loud voice, Jesus, Master, have pity on us. When he saw them, he said, Go show yourselves to the priests. And as they went, they were cleansed. One of them, when he saw he was healed, came back, praising God in a loud voice. He threw himself at Jesus' feet and thanked him. He was a Samaritan. Jesus asked, Were not all 10 cleansed? Where are the other 9? Was no one found to return and give praise to God except for this foreigner? Then he said to him, Rise and go. Your faith has made you well. If you pay attention to that last part, you'll see that Jesus commanded the man to go. When the man left, what do you think he did? He probably went out and told everyone about Jesus. When the man did that, he made himself useful. The Lord sends us out to do his will, spreading the good news and his teachings. We need to do the same as that man. God tells us to go. So let's be God's tool and go.